Okie dokie. So we had an early game today. Now there's some games that are overlapping. There's the Flyers Islanders game on right now, which is kind of slow scoring wise. So I took some notes while I was watching Ottawa and Toronto, and this was played in St. John's. That made a big deal of the whole kiss the cod, Newfie screech thing, and all right, so it's one of those. It's weird. I know I've never kissed the cod. I lived in Newfoundland when I was 2. That was the last. So 2-year-olds don't genuinely have to do that kind of thing. But I have a feeling that if I ever do go to St. John's and visit family, that at some point that's going to come up. You can't come in the house until really. Come on, I haven't seen you guys in a long. Do I really? All right. So today's game started kind of quick. Now, great save by Freddie Anderson to start the game, seconds into the game, and then Maxime Lajoie with a goal for the Ottawa Senators. I love this Lajoie kid. I do. I said it last year, early in the year. I know he started fast and then kind of petered out as the season went along. I like him. I know the offense isn't going to be what keeps him in the NHL, but he tends to get goals early on. Now, it's preseason, so it's as early as you can get. There weren't very many shots for either team in that first period. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. It was noteworthy to me that Nick Ebert takes a hooking call because he is trying to make that transition back to North American ice from having played overseas for a couple years. And Ebert was a really highly regarded prospect before he was drafted and then just dropped way off the charts as a prospect. So it shows that, a year or 2 years out from the draft, you might look at a guy and go, this guy's going to be great. And then they don't have a great year, and Ebert's one of those guys. I had to put this up here as well. It's not technically game notes, but they have bright blue goalposts for the ECHL, and they get knocked off really, really easy. Nelson took a penalty for delay of game. He pushed off the goalpost, and the goalpost went right off. It took nothing to knock those goalposts off today. You could see every time that somebody touched it, the net moving. So they did mention that too with the announcers during the game, that it felt like the net wasn't very strongly attached. I don't know if that's an ECHL trait. I'm not sure, but at any rate, it was not. It reminded me of when the NHL had the nets held together with magnets. That didn't last very long because it took almost nothing to push it off the magnets. So they had to put the posts in the ice, which made it a little bit better at the NHL level. It was ridiculous with the magnets. You remember the magnets? You're old like me. Second period, John Tavares with a near miss after a great pass by Marner. I thought Marner and Tavares looked fantastic today. It doesn't really show up in the score, but it's preseason. So the fact that they're showing already that they've got really good chemistry out there, good news for Leafs fans. And I thought Barrie had a good game as well. The offense on the blue line definitely gives them a different look on the power play. Again, preseason, so special teams not really prominent in this, but once the Leafs get things going, I think their power play could be a lot better this year, and Tyson Barrie could be a huge part of that. The shots were 5-0 Toronto, 4 minutes and 13 seconds into the period, and it was about 8 minutes into the period before Ottawa woke up. And once they woke up, they were pretty darn good. Nilsson looked solid. He didn't allow a goal today. The shots evened up as the period went along, and in fact, towards the end of the period, Ottawa had more shots than did Toronto. So Ottawa definitely picked up the pace. I thought Gauthier had a decent game for Toronto today. Gauthier's fighting a numbers game, though. Down the middle, you've got Tavares, you've got Matthews, you've got Spezza on the fourth line, and Kerfoot likely on the third. So Gauthier is going to have an amazing camp in order to make things difficult for them. It looks like Bracco may get that last roster spot, but we'll see. Third period, Hogberg. I don't know why I put that with a K. I knew it was with a C. Hogberg, and probably because there were two Ks in the other name. Kaskasuo takes over to start the third period. So both teams went with their backups in the third period. This is standard preseason stuff. Kapanen scored pretty quick, and Marner with the assist. So that was big. There was a weird play, too, where Kapanen took a hooking penalty. And then they called Brandstrom for embellishment, even though he didn't go down. I thought it was weird. They're like, yep, there's the embellishment. And I'm like, where? I didn't see an embellishment there, but okay. Tavares, I had to put this up here, looked to be in 47 goal form. He was really good. He was robbed by both goaltenders in this game and had a couple of shots that were close and just barely missed. So if you're a Leafs fan right now, despite the end result of this game, you've got to feel good about John Tavares right now. The Sens scored on the second shot of the period. Chervais scores from Marner. So that's going to be a very interesting deal. If you're asking from Marner, yeah, Marner gave the puck away. So, again, if you love Marner and you think, what a great contract, you can point to today's game and go, see, everything's awesome. And if you go, I think his defensive game is suspect, there you go. So, yeah, this kid here, Travis Chervais, I believe, or Sherway, well, spelled Sherway, I'm pretty sure they pronounced it Chervais. Keep an eye on him. Could be interesting to see how things go throughout camp. Because, again, Ottawa has lots of jobs up for grabs. They really do. The goalie gets pulled with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. Because why not? You're down 2-1. It's preseason. It's in St. John's. You want to give the fans something to talk about. And last night, the Vancouver Canucks showed you pull the goalie early. Sometimes it works. And when it's in the preseason, I don't really care. I think it's fun. Duclair then hits the empty net. I thought Anthony Duclair had a good game today. I was glad he got the empty netter because I really did. I thought he had a pretty solid game. And he looks like he's ready to take a more prominent role with Ottawa than he's ever had for a team before. So it wasn't an overly exciting game. Ottawa wins at 3-1. But for St. John's, you got yourselves a hockey game. And it wasn't bad compared to a lot of preseason stuff. This was right around middle of the road. It wasn't awful. It wasn't fantastic either. But still kind of a fun game. And I figured I might as well take notes since it was the only one on at the time for the most part. Once we got into the third, some of these games were overlapping, but I thought, nah, I'll get enough notes on the board that we can go ahead and review this. So there you go. What do you think about today's game? How do you feel about how Freddie Anderson looked? I thought Anderson looked good. I thought Nelson looked good as well. And pretty low-scoring preseason so far, isn't it? I do wonder, and I've been wondering this, and I talked about it during the previews and during different predictions that I thought, what, maybe we'll get a clawback of goal scoring this year, just a little bit. Maybe that's going to happen. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below and about how the new rules are being called. There's minor tweaks to the game right now. I think it'll be a bigger deal once we get into games that really matter, those tweaks, but so far it's been pretty good. I think it's been kind of nice, the changes they've made. I have no problem with it. Good flow to the game, and that's what's important. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.